Do we need more utility? Do we need a change in comp? Do we need another Brimstone? I mean, that's no Viper, so nothing too crazy.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
I know you really.
We had the right to dream.
I'm not disappointed until we get into a few rounds.
I also want to highlight the fact that we saw it, especially towards the end of the map that we just witnessed. Football wasn't something else. Like, if he's going to be pop flashing out of smokes, if he's going to be having that confidence on top of having that double dive that was working so good together, especially when we speak about the defense and pushing smokes, I'd be scared if I was Fnatic.
I know Sky's a little lost in terms of the meta discussion right now, but I think in terms of their approach to map 1, if they're just going to really tap into Camo being the second duelist here, building around Minibu, who's obviously found his foot, he's found his confidence once more, got a little bit of bravado about the way he's talking about his gameplay as well, I'm absolutely all for it.
And that's locked in again on the speeches. Don't know which one it is this time around, whether it's personal.
Oh, I know EBS is paying attention, being like,
they're
okay,
down in the dumpster. We can do this, or whether it's another one of the motivational ones. Either way, for me, Liquid has come out of the gate swinging, and they look so incredibly confident. I want Fnatic to find that confidence back.
Yeah, confidence being key for me as well. We kept talking about yesterday how it was concerning to see Boast, and actually it was on Bind, being top fragged. A couple of players weren't putting up numbers yesterday. They absolutely need to respond here if Liquid are going to continue with this aggressive approach to this series.
And I want to see them cheering for each other, just like they were, celebrating even the small things. Like, I do not see too much concern, at least on the face of Alpha. He looks pretty relaxed, but I want to see them getting a little bit of momentum. Just get a couple of rounds on the board and start, you know, dancing at them. Just
get Vekash on his feet again.
Yes.
Get them all on their feet, but for now they're all sitting in their razor chairs and ready to load into the server, which means we're going to be tossing it over to our casters, Mitch and Tom.
That first map has to be a wake-up call for Fnatic, Tom. Liquid came in prepared, but the bounce back needed might have to happen on Liquid's map pick. We're going on to Bind, and a danger over the horizon. Potential 2-0 start. That's where your mind goes, but we've seen Fnatic bounce back from worse situations. There is a clock on this one.
Yeah, for sure. I think historically this has been a fantastic map for Fnatic as well, so is it a death sentence heading here? No, but if you look at the last 2 games that Liquid played on it, you might be a little nervous. They're 13-3 versus Vitality, 13-3 versus Heretics, 2 opponents that I think most people would have had them as less favored against, and they smashed them with their aggressive style, and they did it on the defense just yesterday, constantly pushing the bounds. As I said, there was moments where Minibu was in the opponent's spawn killing them. So they need to stop this guy early. They need to remove some of that confidence. Otherwise, yeah, I think they're getting 3-0.
You could see Pal in the face making, Pal in the crowd making faces while you were going through that.
I was about to say, he's joined FaZe?
Yeah. Get that man a raise. Well, Team Liquid 0-0 starting out as the barriers go up. They have already swapped spots with the attackers. Minibu loves going down deep into their spawn, and he's found the first blood onto Vekash. You know what, Mike? You wanted to see him on his feet. I don't think he'll be standing up.
I was going to say, he was doing that to Chronicle. Why would he fear doing that to anyone else? Happy to run it down, happy to put the pressure on, and for the attack side, we've always known that Fnatic like to feel out the map. They like to go looking, they like to find information, but you're going to have to almost switch your style up a little bit just to stop those early kills going the way of the defense. For now, at least, Crashies is trying to sell the idea that this is an A hit, but the other players are not looking like they're going that way.
No, this is quite a clear late play to beat. Minibu standing by with the Sheriff. Remember, they don't have to commit to these fights, already having that advantage. The fall back as Purpose still has a flash. They can play back into the retake, fight out of a smoke, take that front sight control. Minibu's caught a bit in the open here. Already down to 50, revealed as well, but this is what it's all about, waiting for that flash. Minibu going down makes it a bit more awkward, and Crashies still had vision, took Purpo down, and puts Fnatic into the lead. Oh my, Alpha! It's a messy fight. That ends up with 1 somehow, but it might not play a role. And in the end, it's a cleanup for Fnatic.
Yeah, good trading. Good fundamental play. I think that was some of the issues they had on the last map, was just being caught isolated, and they end up losing those fights. And after it happens again early, like, look at where he is fighting people. It's closer to your spawn than it is to the site. But it's the way they have their opponents back, and a little bit of luck, you know. It happens sometimes. 1-0.
Come on then! Come on, push us!
Maybe he saw what Nats was talking about earlier, about putting the pressure onto him specifically, and try to show that Okay, you got the first map. That doesn't really mean too much. They know they're going to push. Of course they know they're going to push. So spamming that smoke makes a lot of sense. That is still here. Oh, Alpha just quick enough. That could have been deadly. Instead, oh, Kayak. He's taken space on the other side of the map, but at this stage, I feel like the remaining two are just going to look to go down to that spike.
Planted.
I almost thought he was going to TP out. Play with the rest of the squad, not take the risks, but
It's not got much to
Kayak's
lose.
sticking around, yeah. Even giving that over to your opponent, it's not going to be the end of the world. Maybe Alpha will be a bit angry, but the rest of the crew can still take that body shot. But this is the start that we wanted to see for Fnatic after a devastating loss in the previous map. You need something to get you on the horse early, and at least finding the pistol, having a relatively clean second round as well, and even farming up quite a lot of orbs. You can see Alpha's now the one with the Marshal hunting down towards this site. He's 2 away from a showstopper, and in the next round, that could help out a bunch. TP taken out, those players will be hunted down. Alpha's a chance. He could end up with 1, and in fact, both kills. A 3K here. That has given Alpha
He gets the gun.
his ult, and indeed he got a rifle on the run out. So a huge round in the end for him. And Fnatic, they come into the next round, rifles and a showstopper.
Yeah, that could have gone really badly. Like, they drop the Vandal on the floor. I think it's Crashies that fell.
Yep.
But the fact that, yeah, Alpha cleans up the mess, gets his ult, and then picks up the rifle at the end, that's about as well as that ever could have gone from the scenario they were in. And this man as well, going back to some of their previous games on Bind, it was just on an absolute tear, flying across your screen at a million miles an hour. I think they're going to need him here today with how his opponents have been playing. And one of the things Liquid did very well on the last map, especially on the attack, was they avoided him completely. They just went away from the final boss of EMEA. Went and did side quests, which included winning rounds.
There. Scout destroyed.
It'll be harder to avoid him here, especially when it comes to that attack side. Tip of the spear so often, and especially expected to be the case here. That showstopper to bring them into the site, and it will be B. It's under threat. We've seen this before, though. Purpo playing towards that elbow, flashing out. The delay of the snake bite, but a little different when Nat's going to invade that space. He's gotten so close, but a beautiful seize reveals him, gives the pick away, and now the pressure truly on. The showstopper still not burned from Fnatic. They've got that as a safety net, and they'll keep it as one. In the back pocket for a future round as the third seems to be coming easily into their favor. Team Liquid, they're going to concede. They're running for the hills, and no surprise, Tom, they barely did a lick of damage, let alone no picks.
Yeah, I think that's just good research. Like, you look at the last map, and it's a surprise. There was nothing in that composition that Fnatic could have done their research and read into and countered on the day. They didn't know what they were up against until they saw it in that moment. In this map, it's very different. Nats has been doing these things for however many years. I go back to 2021, he's still doing some of the stuff he's doing. You could see that Fnatic were ready. Okay, they've put up this smoke, they put this in position. There is a chance he's in this gap. Let's make sure we check it. And that's always where Fnatic has done some of their best work, is if we know what you're going to do, we can beat it. 3-0, it's early days, but it's already looking far better than the last map.
Yeah, and I think even from the pistol, from seeing Boaster stand on his feet, get a little bit loud, it's so important to have the squad.
That's so
unlucky. I thought it was the seize. Yeah, it was too far back to actually reveal him. And that barrel was what cost him in the end, and who knows?
Hey, hookah boy!
Hookah boy. All right. But no, it's so important to see him bringing that energy up on the team, because you can imagine how low you feel after a 13-6. You know this is your last chance as well. You'll be watching Santiago from home, and the energy's looking better on Fnatic. But in this round, the opening pick goes to Liquid.
Well, that has been the thing for Fnatic. Okay, sure, you had lock-in where the first tournament of the year came with a trophy. But in 2024 and 2025, they did watch from home until coming back at stage 1. That's nice from Camo, though. The slow, perfect. Giving them a 2-man advantage. Minibu incredibly low, and while Wayne's play is going to be fairly one-dimensional with him sat holding onto Hookah. Question is there going to be any sort of recovery? A little bit risky, but info found nonetheless.
45 on the clock when push comes to shove. A shame to lose that showstopper in the opening duel. That was so close. The right idea by Kayak, but the wrong execution. That flash, though, a different story. He's got himself two eventually. Took down Camo, but here he comes again, the menace on the server. Sliding around and finding one round for Team Liquid.
Yeah, much more of what we expected to see from them. Some of this aggression that has caught their opponents out quite a bit. The initial firing squad and then the reaction coming out from Camo. That is the trouble with this composition, is if you fall into, okay, we lost a couple of rounds and play a little bit more scared, you lose. So you don't have the ability to do that. So the fact that Liquid still are fighting their opponents aggressively, still taking that space, not fearing away. Of course, for Fnatic, they've still got plenty of credits to play with in this one. And that showstopper is still available. Wasn't needed in the round prior.
Poison's on.
Maybe used in an execute here. The double up in Hookah. Contact and then a second layer. The gun's been spotted, but Althea still wins the fight.
When he goes, Hinder landed, and it's the TP play from Nats to try to find value. The orbital strike put down, but those players hindered can fall back just far enough. The blast packs, I think, helped Alpha, but he's left on 30. And with Kayak falling in that attempt to take space elsewhere, they are already so far behind with Alpha being picked off. This round looks like it's dead in the water. Boaster and Crashies left to pick up those pieces. They're walking into the site that's stacked as well. The first goes their way, but now that's the end of it. 3K for Nats, the second round for Team Liquid, and they're climbing back already.
Yeah, I thought with the way Alpha got that opening pick that this round was going to be a different beast, but it was just that reaction once again. The immediate aggression out from Camo, the slow to give them space, and then Nats just popping his way through the TP, cover still being held on the other side. It's just layers to the setups that they have. Now
Well, you
early
think
start.
nothing I will chill against him. I can chill nothing last time when I played on Fracture, not now.
All the way back to Fracture.
I think he's referencing that 1v1 he had versus Boaster, where Boaster picks him at the end. If he is, that's the thing that goes into my mind when he's talking about Fracture.
Rolling back the years, my goodness. There's the showstopper finally put through, and Liquid's response is, as you may have expected, to go pushing, but Purpo made a big mistake. The showstopper finds its mark. Kayak with the disruption into the spawn. Nats though, ice in a furnace. He's grabbed two. That might just keep Liquid in it. And here comes Miniboo, getting space and locking these players in towards Lamps as he was watching the cross, but Crashies somehow survives. Left into the 1v1, but Boaster waits on the other side of that molly for the fourth round on the board for Fnatic.
The back and forth has been crazy. The IGL's clutching out either round, and it's just the sheer pace of this one. Like a showstopper in one way, an aggressive showers push the other way, a spawn fight back in from the defenders, and then it all coming down to 1v1 where Boaster has to take down Miniboo. No, this time we had to mute it. 4-2.
Cutting through.
And that is quite a damning round for Liquid. The economy on the brink, a couple of rifles into play, one of them in the hands of Nats, and while Camo was hoping to find a victim, it's actually Nats to find one instead.
Yeah, they ran away from the bark of that shorty and ran right into the bite. Crashies, he's waiting, biding his time. As Camo recovers a rifle, though, this gets a little bit dangerous, and especially for him, the wrap back from Fnatic. If this gets spotted, that could be the spike down, but the space is good. They've managed to slip two players back. At this point, you know, all the info is slipping through the fingers of Team Liquid. They think they've got a good grasp on this situation, but I mean, the gate crash from Kayak might be the only thing that hints at this play going back in the other direction, if it's even taken, because I think Camo's close enough to hear it.
It looked like Nats for a second might go back. Instead, they've just left it on to Miniboo. Bear in mind, he has nothing. I think he used his ult maybe at the beginning of the round, but that's it. He's just sat with a classic. The only thing he'll bring his team is information, but how are they even going to get there in time? They can't take the TP. That's being watched on the other side. And his goal is just to slow them. Just use the stuns as much as possible. But even those have dissipated. And now they're being flanked once again. Fnatic leaving things desperately low. And there's the Viper Spit. They're just trying to delay for Camo. They're trying to give him space. If he could drop the spike, this round is basically over. And he's going to try and make that move.
10 seconds left.
Already getting in on the flank. The spike just about being planted, but I don't even think it matters anymore. Vekash has to clutch versus the whole squad, and it's the classic to take him down. Liquid surrounded them, and at many points it looked like Fnatic were going to find the space. But eventually they got caught.
And we know this is in their wheelhouse. Whether it was Miniboo, whether it was Camo getting that deep aggression, whether it's Nats wrapping up behind you. This is not a map that you can give that much space. I like the idea of playing it slow, but that little bit of extra delay, the read from Liquid. I'm also surprised that Liquid had used at like 40 seconds. They threw in the snake bite towards B long. They were convinced this was a B play with 3 players still there, utility being expended to buy more time, and they still end up on A in time. And it's because of that decision from Camo to say, it's been a little bit too long without any util. I'm going.
And Miniboo's stun. Like him throwing that in towards mid-A bought enough time for Nats to get there on Viper's Pit. It seems like the response is going to be a pacier take. Weaponry weak, but Alfia still has a rifle in hand. Needed to win the fight, but actually Kayak gets it and now could pick up that rifle for his own. They do have themselves a Viper's Pit if they can find space to use it, but look at where the defenders are already.
Seeker's gone on to Vekash as well. They know that there's a player far outside the site, but soon they may just flee completely. That wall can go up and they can take the TP. Already seeing so many players here from Team Liquid. Fnatic, they hold their ground. They stand the line and fall together instead. 4-4 now. Team Liquid have caught up.
Yeah, getting more and more success. You try and go pacey versus them, it seems like they're ready. I don't mind the idea from Fnatic. Like, your opponents have been pushing B short in quite a lot of rounds. It's been a 3-man push there. And it didn't seem to make a difference. It got a little bit further than maybe they would have done, but for Miniboo, this has just been a farming round.
Nice!
Got over halfway back towards his ult already. And well, the coach is giggling along. Yeah, this is the moment for Fnatic to also have to slow things down again from a 3-0 start. They found themselves level, and I do think they're really feeling that pressure from their opposition.
This is the other thing. When you come into this map and off rip, the energy's getting high, you're trying to lift spirits, and you also get a 3-0 start. Well, that seems like everything's lined up for you, and then it starts to taper off. And that's even harder to deal with, is that return to the low energy, return to the lull. And it's hard to get out of that without connecting some rounds on the back. 4-4, the wind truly at Liquid's back, and Fnatic, although it is tied up with the last map fresh in our memory, the vibe here, it feels like it's slipping round by round with 4 out of the last 5 rounds going to Team Liquid. Now's the time for Fnatic to come up with answers.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it as well. Viper's Pit online, Orbital Strike available. Nightfall there as well, but their opponents are going. Again, it's just an immediate push up mid, and they might have been caught by a Prowler, but they're just going to flash straight through the smoke. They're wrapping around the spawn, but there has to be a reaction from Fnatic. They're immediately going to start putting that pressure, well, they were putting that pressure on towards the B side, but they are taking their time, and that time might be the end of them. It just depends how quickly we see the move from their opponents. And while Nats is going to be here and put the snakebite in to slow them that little further.
This has been what they do every single time. That snakebite's enough to slow them, and buy time is all they need to do. Flank is getting so close to coming to completion, and now there it is, off the orbital strike, and ult cancelled out for a piece of utility. And although Kayak finds 2, now the flank strikes, the spike is stuck in this corner. They might have the sight, but they need to get out. And the damage done leaves Purple with an opportunity. A low HP Kayak on the site. The pieces can still be picked back up for Liquid to continue this dominant run. 4 out of 5 rounds, but Kayak will seal the deal for Fnatic. The lead is back in their hands.
Oh, that round was all him. That round was all him. Like, the delay that was set up by Liquid was nigh on perfect. The snake bite to stop them, the molly straight after. He goes through with his TP and is completely alone. This is him fighting versus all the opponents while his teammates are just stuck in a corner, and he gets 2 openers and then even clutches it out at the end. This is the star power that we needed to see from Fnatic in rounds like this, and it will allow them a response.
Yeah, a moment to breathe, but not too much. Still the full buy up for Team Liquid, one away from Camo having ultimate. Same for Miniboo. How dangerous that's being cannot be overstated. Team Liquid pushed down mid again, this time more tempered. It's slower, and it's not giving the information away. They're holding for contact. Crashies is about to give it, but he found the info. Punished. Perhaps that flash was perfect. Still, shots from the side are making this awkward until Vikash goes down. Now the players on the side have to worry about their flank, and somehow Wayne keeps the trades equal. A 2 versus 2.
Smoke's down.
It looks like Nats is going to come around to meet Purple. They'll both play this from the flank.
That's dependent on what Fnatic do here. They are baiting the plant. They are worried of almost every single angle, but maybe not the correct one. Alfia is watching, though. That was the main fight. Now Nat's coming in on the flank. And they're still just baiting. They're still trying to make him go for this, make him take the 1v1. It is smart stuff from Fnatic. You want to try and surprise us? We have time to spare.
6-4, a 3-0 start. It looked like it was all going to slip away, but Fnatic, they found their rhythm again. Singing from the same hymn sheet, and they have put the pressure onto Team Liquid. A 6-4 scoreline and a timeout from Liquid. Their first in this half, and really the first time in the series that we've seen any sign that Liquid are feeling the pressure.
Yeah, well, the first map was the thing is, the first map was two things. One, it was you throwing in a bit of a more risky you throwing in more of a risk, and then even if the game was close, that's okay. Then they started to run away with it. Why are your coaches going to be calling a pause? But now you're on your choice. You are getting these aggressive fights. You're getting into positions where you could take over these rounds, but Fnatic in the mid rounds are able to recover. And that's what it's felt like. It has been a lot of recovery. It's like someone like Kayak has been able to get in that tiny gap you left and win the round. Or in this one, it was just Alpha and Kayak trading effectively into the late and then them baiting in. Okay, you want to surprise us, you want to catch us on an off peak or catch us while one of us planting. We won't plant, we'll wait for you. And those are the moments where I think that Boaster always has and always will truly earn his paycheck, is in the middle of the round, where he can call, where he can change the outcome.
You can have some generational insight, like Nats might be coming behind. We haven't seen it yet.
It was Perfo this time, the first time at least.
First time, yeah. But when he baited the plan,
but if you're always watching for Nats, maybe you'll catch someone else.
Well, there you go. No, all part of the game plan. Coach Tom chiming in. Well, Liquid 4 on the board and aggression.
No way.
The game. 2 rifles and an ult for Miniboo. Look, they're still pretty decently armed. The Fnatic have been pushed back from NEB control by the low buy. Again, I think they've made the right call by respecting this, even though there are some missing pieces for Liquid. They won't be pulling any punches with what they've got. Although now, Miniboo's ult shouldn't be there anymore.
That's the problem. That ult doesn't last that long if you don't kill anyone. So it's faded because they sat so far back. One of the main pieces is gone. I'm a little bit nervous seeing that orbital strike online because there's been so many set plays involving the slows, and with Camo also having the convergence path, there's real potential to combo those two ultimates together, which is, again, something we've already seen. And with Fnatic playing so slow, that potential builds and builds and builds. You can even see that Wayne is sat in the spawn. He's making sure he can rotate into the right place. The problem is they've kind of been faked out, and that's going to make it a lot harder for him to do his job.
2 players spotted as well towards this B site. All the info there for Fnatic. Ults coming online in this and the next round. This could be a dominant close to the half. Team Liquid trying to thin out that herd, but only the one to be found, and the trade so quick from Fnatic. There is nothing to be done but sit and watch as 6 turns into 7. Fnatic, 1 round left to play in the half, and it looks like they've recovered control.
Yeah, unfortunately on the defense, it is a lot harder to avoid Alfia. He is 14-7 right now, and has just been ripping heads all the way through this half. The thing is, I don't mind the idea of having those reactive ultimates, but with the dimensional drift online, I think Kayak was able to get them so much information that they're like, okay, at some point, we are going to see Wayne pop this ult, so we just have to be aware that we need an angle to play around, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, 1 last to play for, and you see what I was talking about. Viper's Pit, Nightfall, and Showstopper, all available for Fnatic off
Info
the gate.
get in post-plant is pretty good.
You've got a whole round in front of you, and for Team Liquid, the expectation, clearly in Fnatic's camp is that there's going to be some aggression. The one ult that they have certainly lends itself to that in the form of the convergence path on Camo. So you see Fnatic just sit back. They're willing to let Liquid make the first mistake, and they know that if it comes to crunch time, they stand a pretty good chance with the ults they've got. Provided Alpha stays alive, he's the guy that's got to get them in.
Yeah. Luckily, Kayak has also been having a pretty good game, so they've got a decent backup, but 4 players on this A site, all setting up ready around that singular ult. The man on the other side, it's Nats, so fair. It's not a bad man to leave alone, but I think this might be easier said than done. Alfia already setting up, 40 seconds left. No one is even close to rotating. They'd have to dip through the TP, and that's as bad as it could have gone. Viper on Viper, Vekash takes him down. That leaves the site open for free. Nightfall will be thrown in. They've got the information, but this is where that fast flank through the TP needs to come in, and the Showstopper is going to buy them. Well, don't buy them time. No, he's just going to send it.
Yeah, he's done damage on a Camo, though. Here goes the convergence path. Now time to dive on in. Could be pressure for Alfia to deliver. Down below, Hookah, and he's being spun on by Miniboo. Another perhaps, but no, the Kaz is there to greet him. A lead present sent his way. Wayne, looking the wrong way. He's being sliced up, and Fnatic 4 versus 2. The godlike performance needed for Liquid, needed from Camo and Purpo. As the time ticks, another found, and it's down to just Kayak. They've done it. Every shot landed for Team Liquid. And a defuse puts them 7-5 at the halftime. That round looked like a done deal, Tom.
I'm genuinely baffled by the fact that they've managed to turn that back around. I was fully convinced after the knife that this was completely close. Nonetheless, well, I need myself a breather, so let's go down to Lou, who's standing by with a lovely interview.
You know these faces very, very well because yesterday they were fighting for their lives on the VCT EMEA stage. Thank you for joining me, Mini, Starkso, and Beyaz. Beyaz, I heard that you have no more voice after the casting yesterday, so I'll spare you on this one. But my first question goes to you, Starkso. You know, what happened yesterday? It was, you know, an amazing comebacks against Fnatic, which is a team with a lot of stamina, a lot of experience. Looking back at it, like, how did you do this magic, basically?
Good question. You know, I think until sorry,
I think don't worry.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think until now I still don't know how he did it. You know, reverse sweeping like team like Fnatic. I think it's huge roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
We're really proud of that. You know, I think you can hear in my voice. We still didn't get through it. You know, 2 hours of sleep. So.
Did you manage to get some sleep?
Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah. 2 hours and then straight to the arena to watch party. And speaking about watch party, Mini, I wanted to ask you, you know, how is it to be in the arena with no pressure, no anti-strat to prepare? You know, the job is done basically to qualify for Masters Santiago. So do you enjoy, you know, resting from the kickoff marathon, just watching the others play and fight for their lives?
Yeah, I mean, it feels very refreshing being here, you know, being able to watch friends like Vekash, you know, play. It's amazing. And I'm just happy to be here, happy to enjoy our watch party with Beyaz, talk to the Gentlemates community, you know, and just enjoy. It's amazing to be here. And I'm happy I didn't need to play for some time now.
Of course, of course. Real quick, Team Liquid or Fnatic for these finals?
Fnatic.
Okay, what about you, boys? Fnatic.
For me, Fnatic.
Oh, Fnatic. Okay, let's see if Fnatic can indeed take the win on Vine. Thank you so much.
Well, that seems pretty unanimous up there. We've got 1 for Fnatic and 2 for Fnatic. We'll see. Not much going for Team Liquid, so maybe that's because they're trailing by 2, but after that first map, I'm pretty afraid of what their attack side can do. They looked so dominant.
The last round.
The last round especially, man. Fighting back there. Crash, he's finding his first knife kill in VCT, and then this happens to him.
No, it's madness, like what we've just witnessed, and that's what Liquid have kind of been doing throughout. They've pulled off these absurd rounds to get them back into the game. Now, you have yourself a pistol victory, you're level, you're going into that attack side that was so dominant when they played versus Heretics. But again, Fnatic have already seemed to stabilize, seemed to adapt, seemed to have those calls that can turn things. So Vekash already under pressure. He's running for the hills. He's seen the double dive into the site, and he's having none of it.
Understandable.
Spike
Better to set up for the post, but Vekash is going to be caught, pincered on both sides. Nice play by Liquid. that aggression doesn't seem to be going anywhere. There's still 3 players moving towards the spawn. Nats is wrapping up behind, doing damage, being a thorn in the side and the back for Alphayer as Camo at 10 HP. It takes quite a brave fight indeed, but he's got the info. Last 2 players fully spotted, and you can see Liquid ready for every engagement sent their way. Even if Miniboo goes down. Oh, I was going to say he's likely to. Never mind. Little help from his friends. And Team Liquid find the pistol. That gap is closing in on Fnatic.
Yeah, this is always the most terrifying part when you face off against this Liquid side is I feel like this is now the perfect way to activate Nats. Like you have this super fast-paced aggro into the site, panic stations, everyone rotate, get into position. Nats is like, yep, chilling in spawn. Like he's always been that extra layer that's so hard to play against. But in this sort of setup, in this sort of meta, it's perfect to just have him in that backline. And that's something that you could even see. Fnatic were looking, like Alphayer didn't just walk with his back turned. He was looking for where Nats is, but that has always been an issue, especially on this map, is there's knowing he'll be somewhere, and then there's dealing with him.
Well, the easy follow-up, as it often is, Fnatic on classics. And the question for Liquid is, can they hold on to all those weapons? They brought 4 in, 3 Bulldogs as well, so still standing a pretty good chance when it comes to the next round, even without the numbers advantage they're likely to have when grouped up. And hello, Miniboo got forced out by a nade, but forcing the fight didn't take it out of his favor. Boaster and Alpha, the last 2, and well, he got decisions here. Do you care about... that looked funky. Oh, goodness. Do you care about giving them orbs, or do you value finding some for yourself more? And it looks like...
I don't even know what that looks like.
What just happened there, bro? All right, end zone flawless. No mistakes made by Liquid, and even Nats is scratching his head a little bit.
Hey, he's getting some style points. He's getting tricky with it. 7-7. That second pistol once again, putting Liquid back into favor, and this is where we need to see that response once more from Fnatic. They will come in with the rifles, they will come in with everything they need, but their opponents also have rifles mostly. And I'll be honest, the SMG for Miniboo, not that much of a detriment with how fast he's moving.
Yeah, it didn't seem to hold him back last round, but now you're up against rifles. Harder to make it work. Already on the site, you've seen the dodge off the stun, but still, Miniboo finds one. Boaster on the trade at least, and now a 4v3, keeping control of the round. Vikash comes to help out, but Boaster's double may have sealed the deal. Good damage coming in from Nats, but 2 players low. Still 3 rifles carried forward for Fnatic.
Yeah, you always have to feel nervous when it's Nats on the other side, but not this time. Boaster was the one to take over. Being able to get in quick enough, because that's been their issue. Well, that's been a lot of teams' issues. When you have this dive, when you have this fast-paced take, you normally don't have the support, so he just had to run in and take those firefights. Fnatic back onto the ball, but that was the bonus. As you said, the SMG, it didn't seem to hamper Miniboo too much, but now he's got himself a Phantom.
Well, a minute 30, and it seems Liquid are going to be pretty quick with this one. Even with the ability to TP back, the whole squad is behind Camo, and he doesn't seem to be going anywhere. He wants to go forward. He wants to push through, and with the Sky Flash, they'll try! Wayne puts 2 in the ground. Numbers back even for a moment, but Boaster pulls the advantage out of thin air. I don't think he wants to keep fighting here, though. A 3 versus 2, a judge on the retake for Vikash. If they don't push into him, that's going to be a tough one to make work. Should be some weapons to pick up behind him. And indeed, they will just wait to take this together. Only 2 left, but it's Wayne and Nats.
Nats is facing the wrong way. Oh, it should have been free, but even still, he manages to catch Crashies. And Wayne, in clutch scenarios, has been sublime, and he needs to get past this utility now. The judge should be deadly. Well, Boaster is there again, climbing up that scoreboard, leading by example and extending Fnatic's lead by 2.
Yeah, I mean, having a great map here as well. You know, for Boaster, I think he might come into this as like the lowest rated player in the league in the EMEA. And I mean, considering the fact that it's not like they've gone for that lower bracket run early on. They weathered some storms, and I think it just again goes to show the fact that not only is Fnatic stacked with individual talent, but this man, he brings a lot to the server. in terms of that leadership. That's why they didn't bomb out early. And now when he's firing as well, you could have some problems brewing. Team Liquid call a timeout at round 17. A 2-round deficit, but a little bit of momentum building up for Fnatic, and well, they want to put a stop to that before Fnatic start to believe again.
Well, he's done well in the last couple of rounds to just keep advantages. Like, I feel like we've had the back and forths, Kayak's early double, and you have the response, but his goal was just get one, keep the advantage, and then we just trade effectively. We keep it basic, keep to those fundamentals. And that could be enough to do this, because you start going for those riskier plays, you start going to be a hero versus this Liquid squad, and hey, maybe Wayne wins a 1v3 while he's on 5 health. Like, you just need to be careful with this Liquid squad, because although in the early stages of this tournament where, okay, some of the players were maybe not on the correct roles, we've seen swap-ups to put Camo into position, top of the board by the way, and even Nats like swapping into, okay, I'm just going to go back to my Viper, I'm going to go back to my Cypher to keep things more comfortable. You do still now have, even more so, have to be careful when these players are feeling good, because they've been in such great form.
I do much rather see Purpo as well on the Sky rather than the Fade. I feel like his Initiator util has been shaky, whereas at least with Sky, although an Initiator, he can at least play it as a duelist, as we've seen. He's flashing for himself, and maybe just give him a Yoru. But no, it's good to have that little bit. You've seen the value of the dog, value of the info and the flashes as well, but often used individually. Here's Alpha in a lot of trouble, but he's dodged that hinder, and Camo's going to have a much tougher time taking him down, you would think. Nice response with the Cash keeping the numbers, and they're even going to use an orbital strike. Hey, for a round like this, Liquid have got to be happy to already get a big ult out of the way.
Also, Wayne has got quite far. Like, the rest of the players are almost selling the idea that they're falling back off this, and he's just walked into lamps. Now, it's a good thing for the space he's taken. It's a bad thing because he has the spike. So if he doesn't get 2 kills here, they've dropped the spike, he got nothing. That was the low HP player. I thought for sure he'd at least come out with 1, but now this becomes impossible. Of course, it was lower weapons, so the expectations was it would be difficult anyway. Oh, for Kayak, it's just the clean-up crew. 10 rounds for Fnatic. They lost their own map choice, but their opponents is looking pretty good.
It is indeed. Yeah, but I suppose as well, you look at Corrode and the surprise factor definitely comes into play. Des talked about it. I think Kuka was saying that, you know, you come into that matchup and you only get to prepare for what's coming your way. For the remember, Liquid didn't just sit back and sort of have setups. They were getting aggressive. And the only time the Fnatic had to counter that was in the loading screen. So it very much limits your ability to react. We saw their game challenged from the very second that barriers went up. Fnatic get to play a different game than they had rehearsed, but here on Bind, everything's going according to plan. 3-round gap, Fnatic in the lead, and a chance to basically make this BO5 a BO3, put us 1-1.
Kayak once again aggressive, but he might have dealt a headshot. He's received, or his teammate, I should say, has received one trying to swing from mid.
Time to jump.
Does have his ultimate online. The problem is when Fnatic have had those disadvantages, a lot of the time we have seen those individuals try and turn the rounds back. I like the setup though. Playing contact for the Cash, but he's not going to be able to stop Miniboo. Just too quick on the slide to deal with, and now that singular disadvantage has doubled.
I've got your trail.
TP taken, but it's the Seekers here that make this a very tough task. Nade sent early, break the Seekers, stop the Neon from pushing, but now we're in a bit of trouble. Oh, Alpha here, he was left reeling, spinning around that site. Not sure where the danger was coming from, and the trick was, it was from all over. 10-8. 2-round gap, solid response from Liquid, and 4 ultis coming into next.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're probably in that moment shouting like, there's 4 in showers, there's 4 in showers. It's like, but that means there's what? And that's the moment, that's when it first clicks in your brain that if there's 4 players one place, that means Nats is in the other. Just claiming that additional space.
Nice, amazing kills, boys. Nothing. Why is he pushing?
10-8. First spy round on the board for Liquid, but as you said, a lot to play with in this one. Showstopper, it's been baited out. They've gone the other way. Can he find something for it? Not quite. Miniboo, the one person quick enough to escape. The overdrive has faded as well, so it's a trade for a trade on those ults, but I'll be honest, I think Liquid will take that.
Definitely, yeah, a huge danger taken out, and although Miniboo can do just the same, that Showstopper can pick up a whole lot more, a whole lot faster. For Fnatic, waiting outside this site. All 5 players are here, and although they're sitting in the smokes containing the space, they haven't yet decided to strike until Alpha goes up top now. Here comes the invasion of the A site. Fnatic, they've already found 2. Both falling into the hands of Alpha here. Someone has to fight back on Liquid if the climb back is to continue. And it will be the pit from Nats put in so late. A danger lurking as they've spotted him. The Yoru's looking to push on through, but hold on, Boaster's gone down. Shorty for Nats grabs a double, and the Chance still alive. The duelist of purple, as we know him, here on the sky, popping the flashes to buy them time, and swinging for the home run. It's a Red Bull clutch, and Liquid have taken this in to punching distance.
Only Nats. Only Nats has the call to do that. I was sat there.
You're a
I was sat there thinking, there's no way he can even get back into his own pit. But that was never the plan. The plan was to leave everybody low enough for his teammate to close out the round. Let's go, boys! These are the absurdities that only Liquid could achieve. And what was looking so good from Fnatic is again dealt a death blow by Nats.
Anyone else in that situation, the Yoru's just on you and you're getting spammed, yet they're a little bit too far away. Nats doesn't know that. He took a risk. He rolled the dice, and look at him. Dishing out snake eyes to the opposition. He's already found the opening. Looking for a bit more, and well, that, never mind. I was going to say he might punish him. He was pushing down close, but it made no difference. No quarter given by Team Liquid, and in-zone flawless to put them neck and neck. And as Fnatic started to build up momentum, the wind is ripped from their sails. A timeout, the final one we'll see on Bind. Both teams pushed to the limit, but it's Fnatic that are already a map down.
Yeah, every time I think that, okay, this is the moment that Liquid might just slip a little bit. You just see some of that brilliance. You see some of those moments that they've been doing this all week. They've been doing this all the way through their fight in that lower bracket. We mentioned it, the conversation of last year where they fell into the lower bracket immediately and needed to win 5 games in a row to make it to Masters. This year, they fell twice. They were given an additional lower bracket, which almost seems unfair. And then now on that road again. 4 wins out of 5. The last would be defeating Fnatic and again eliminating them from kickoff contention, not going to the first Masters. And Liquid, obviously, they made it to every global event last year. They are getting more and more to look like a squad that are going to do it again.
Without a doubt, the performances we're seeing here, the innovation as well. Just looking back to the previous map, one day and so much changed. It really feels like the sky is the limit right now, and well, it is, no disrespect to Purpo, and it is going to be Fnatic that have to fight their way back in terms of the context of this series. Even the map win will just put them even, and for now, that is being pulled into question. I believe it's 3 in a row for Team Liquid. And after using up their final pause, the final pause of Bind, aggression towards B-Long. The trade is very good for Liquid. They continue to get ground, but eyes drawn towards the B site means backs turned on A, and that's where Nats is filling in that space. He has gone so far back to prime. Nats with the space taken, and the Cash can watch the angle. All he wants, the only thing he'll see is a bullet speeding towards his temple. Team Liquid, 4 versus 3, post-plant, momentum, orbital strike, and the ult on camo. The convergence path could, either one could lock in this round, having
how far
both.
back they are. Look how far back they're sitting. Like you can see all of the spams, everything being used to try and delay them. Crashies has got it to half though. Honestly, not bad, but Nats has already taken another name. They're trying to heal him while he pushes. There goes the molly. And now he's in the corner they spammed. Why would they check this? They do! Crashies clears it again. A chance, a spam for both. This is getting interesting, but can he tank the damage? He'd have to go all the way through this. It's going to be close, but not close enough. A nice attempt, but now Crashies with little to no time. It will be the round for Liquid. And all their post-run util does the job.
That was so close, but you could see it from the get-go. Fnatic were playing up against a stacked hand, and they just didn't have enough playing with a card less in their own. The molly that was sent through followed the snake bite, and then the orbital strike.
Look how close it is.
16 health, and frankly, I don't even call that a pixel away.
Do you think as well if he's full health? Is that enough? Because he was a little bit off.
I'm not sure what health he was on.
I think he was on like 89. I don't know how many shields.
I think he survives another tick. That's all he needed.
So I think that was the little bit of spam from Nats.
That's devastating. And the round that's in it, Tom, that puts Fnatic down to pistols. 11-10, the lead taken out of their hand with no chance to fight for it until Liquid push up to 12, until they are, not just on the home stretch, they're knocking on the door, and Fnatic left in the dust. One chance to fight for this. They need to push it to OT. And they're not winning this one, I'll tell you that. Nats is toying with this food and end zone flawless with style. Liquid looking to send Fnatic home. 2 maps would basically be a death sentence. They need 3 in a row, and right now Liquid look like the better squad.
He just 360'd him. He's going for old school phase and optic clips. Like, what is this? Is he making a montage mid-game?
I don't know what's going on. Nice, what's going on? We just destroyed them, that's it.
That's the Nats factor. 24 and 13. You can spend a whole day prepping for what this man has done in the past, what he's going to do. But dealing with him is a problem. This round, they've got him. They found him. There's more pieces to the puzzle. Boaster on the corner. He's going to dodge the ult. Gives him a way out of there, but he's under serious pressure. The spam not quite catching him, and this time the defense hold the line.
Oh yeah, even with the 1 for Camo, so much more needing to be done. The playing towards the spawn could cause problems. In fact, it does. Camo lands it. TP can be taken. 2 versus 3, and the A site wide open. Where do they go for the plant? I mean, they have control over spawn. It's the right call. Nice and open as well. Even towards bathroom, you have to be scared. This is going to steal information out of the hands of Fnatic. And with the deep position from Camo, he was playing here until a matter of seconds ago. They know that nobody's coming from the spawn. They know that they'll be wrapping around, and Camo's connected the dots for his triple. The numbers even, the time ticking, and Fnatic are the ones that need this and a follow-up. They've got to pick up the pace already.